The Forest of Shadows. In the small village of Ravenswood, where time seemed to stand still, an old legend was told about the Forest of Shadows, a place where even daylight dared not penetrate. The village elders whispered stories about mysterious disappearances and dark creatures that inhabited those lands. It was a cold, foggy night when Thomas, a young investigator fascinated by the supernatural, arrived in the village. He had read about Ravenswood in an ancient manuscript found in the library of Arkham University, which mentioned the forest as a meeting point for evil forces beyond human comprehension, similar to what he had read in H.P. Lovecraft's The Call of Cthulhu. Determined to uncover the truth behind these legends, Thomas decided to explore the forest himself. With a lantern in hand and a backpack full of supplies, he ventured into the forest. The dense vegetation and twisted trees created a natural maze, making it difficult to keep a clear direction. As he advanced, Thomas felt a constant presence, as if he was being watched. The air was filled with a sweet, putrid smell, reminding him of passages from Stephen King's The Shining, where the Overlook Hotel seemed to have a life of its own, watching and manipulating its guests. After hours of walking, Thomas found a clearing. In the centre was an old stone altar covered in moss and strange symbols. He took a photo with his phone, recalling the inscriptions described in Richard Matheson's Hell House. While examining the altar, he heard a whisper in the distance. He turned quickly, but saw nothing. The whisper turned into a guttural moan, and Thomas felt a cold chill run down his spine. He decided to turn back, but the path he had taken before seemed to have vanished. Every step he took seemed to lead him deeper into the darkness. The lantern began to flicker, casting dancing shadows around him. In one of those moments of weak light, Thomas saw a tall, thin figure with eyes glowing like embers, watching him from afar. Terror gripped him, reminding him of the creatures that inhabited the pages of Clive Barker's Books of Blood. Thomas ran, his heart pounding in his chest. He heard heavy footsteps behind him, but did not dare look back. After what felt like an eternity, he stumbled and fell into a small cave. Inside, he found an old, dusty diary. Opening it, he read the last writings of an explorer who had been lost in the forest decades earlier. The explorer described an ancient entity that controlled the forest, feeding on the fear and despair of the lost, similar to what Thomas had read in Stephen King's It. The footsteps approached the cave entrance. Thomas turned off the lantern and held his breath. The figure slowly entered, its red eyes illuminating the space. Thomas realized he was face to face with the very evil described in the diary. With a scream of despair, he tried to flee, but the creature grabbed his arm with superhuman strength. In his last moment of consciousness, Thomas saw glimpses of other lost souls, trapped for eternity in the forest, and understood he would never escape. The Forest of Shadows had claimed another victim, and the legends of Ravenswood would continue to haunt the village.